Alrighty, collective. Happy new moon in Gemini. So happy to have you here. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at the energy for you around the new moon via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. We are in Gemini season. Maybe that's obvious, I don't know, but we are with our new moon in Gemini. It's been nice. It's been a good energy. As much as there are some things that are lingering around from the past, I'm hearing this as cleanup, right? It was a pretty intense, emotional couple months. It brought up a lot of anger, aggression, frustration, difficulty, depression, especially around the things that haven't really been working in our favor. And we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, thank God, right? It's been a lot, and it can, especially depending on what you're dealing with, who you're dealing with, etc., it can feel incredibly overwhelming, but I'm hearing there's like a breath of relief, right? A sigh of relief, I think is actually what it is. So this value of feeling a little bit more like you have things under control, you're feeling a little bit more empowered. The new moon in Gemini is really confirming or validating or emphasizing that energy of starting to feel good, right? Like a little bit more, not as timid, not as shy, not as like you're walking on eggshells type vibe. It's actually allowing us to be a little bit stronger, more powerful, etc. I like to start the readings off with an energy cleansing, just set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out any blocks, obstacles, limitations we might be coming into. It's a great time to set your own intention for the reading as well, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over, be open to receive. It's a great way to personalize these collective readings. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing, wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, etc., or if you are just looking for a realignment of self, mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're grounded in self, when we know ourselves, our wants, our needs, our desires, etc., and we're listening to them, that's actually how we're manifesting happiness, abundance, fulfillment, etc. We have to be in alignment with self. And I would love to help you get there, support that for you, whatever that looks like. Definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels, Mama Love. Amen. All right, collective. So, as we're kind of getting, well, here's the thing. The nice thing about this new moon is it's positively aspected for the most part. A lot of where we're seeing the tension is stuff we're already dealing with. Jupiter has been pretty tensely aspected. Jupiter is our fortune and abundance, and it's in Gemini right now. So it's this principle of understanding that not everything, i.e. our happiness, fulfillment, abundance, etc., is going to manifest how we think it is. And if anything, we kind of need to be prepared for a level of duality, not necessarily loving all the things that are coming out of that, but new moon energy is giving us an opportunity to set new intentions, right? Like we're finally feeling strong enough to take a step back and say, okay, this wasn't working, or this is not how I want it to go. And so I have to look at other ways of doing things, i.e. that duality that's present. Not everything is as it seems. And it's hard to overcome that because we have habits, we have patterns, we have ways of doing things, beliefs about how we should manage, etc. but we're getting a lot of pushback. Not as much like right now. I feel like the pushback has been in the past, or some of this stuff that you're still wrapping up, that you're still dealing with. There's our new moon energy. Because it's forcing you to be a stronger, better version of yourself. It's forcing you to come into your power on a deeper level. And that's really what this new moon is all about. We might not like everything that's happening. Changes are either already in transit, I want to say, but I don't think that's the right word. Changes are already happening. Changes are afoot is what I should say, right? You're either in the process, or like I said, wrapping some stuff up, etc. And we can't avoid it. And so it's that value of trying to find the rationality, even when it doesn't feel so rational, right? The waxing gibbous is building up to the full moon. So it's like you're working towards whatever this is that you're trying to manifest, that you're trying to see a little bit more stability and harmony around. It's definitely been a long go to get here. It hasn't come easy. It's pushed you, it's challenged you, it's triggered you. But like I said, I get this feeling of a lot of empowerment coming through. And especially the way the full moon is, the new moon is aspected. It's aspected to Mercury, as well as Pluto. So positively aspected. So it's like we're finding strength in the way we're communicating, in the way we are moving forward, in the decisions that we are making. There's a lot of support. Actually, when I pulled up the astrology chart for this new moon, I was like, phew, like finally we're getting a little bit of goodness that's helping curb some of this intensity, right? Growth is never easy. Leveling up is never easy. Yeah, we all idealize it, fantasize about it on some level, but actually putting it into play is a totally different game, i.e. this judgment right here. I'm hearing this as like because of some of the things that you've had to come up against. The people, the situations that like are not on board with whatever you're doing. You're getting a lot of backlash, and like it looks like I said, like it's taken you a minute to get here. This is not something that, you just decided yesterday, like, okay, I'm going to switch this up and everything's going to be fine. This is something that it was forced, right? This value of cause and effect. It's in your blocked energy for this new moon. I'm seeing this as like being really conscious. Sometimes when we are dealing with difficult people, situations, we can feel so right, so justified in our opinion, in our approach, how we're going to do this, etc. This is really highlighting what I was talking about earlier. But if we're just doing it because that's what we feel like, I deserve this justice, or I need to say this, or, it might not always work out in our favor. Sometimes, or we have to know when we are kind of quote unquote poking the badger. Because as much as some of that tension, frustration, etc. has settled down, at the same time, we are still seeing this fire element enlivened in the astrology. The air element is also enlivened. And so think about it. What does air do to fire, right? It fans the flame, essentially. And sometimes that can be good when it comes to our creativity, our growth, our evolution, but sometimes not so much, right? Like sometimes people can't handle when we're being too assertive. And I'm not saying to be a doormat or anything like that. Don't step away from your fight if it's a fight that you need to fight, right? But there are there are ways that you can go about it more positively, right? Ways that you can be a little bit more practical with your approach. I think it's a little bit hard right now with this 10 of Wands because you're really stressed out. You have a lot on your plate, and as much as maybe you've been handling some of the chaos, the BS, etc., it's been feeling really overwhelming. It looks like someone's trying to back off. It looks like someone's trying to also rewrite how they are showing up, meaning trying to do it a little bit differently. Maybe you've come from a time where there's been a lot of fighting, a lot of difference of opinion is what I'm hearing. Someone won't budge, and it's been pretty overwhelming. And I feel like as a result, like you have some decisions on the table. I think you both do, is what I'm hearing, or what I'm seeing, I should say. Someone knows that things are no longer working in their favor. Someone knows that something is closing out, that it's not as easy as what it used to be. There is this element of extending an olive branch. I don't know that you're that interested, because you do look like you're tired, you're exhausted. So as much as like we're finding this courage, we're finding this power during this new moon, it's also the realization of everything that it took to get here and just how heavy that feels. 10 of Wands, 2 of Wands is an intense energy, right? It's just like when there's so much, we're done and over it with it, right? We're done and over with it. And I don't see that this person's situation that you're dealing with is really understanding maybe the gravity of some of what they did. There's a very naive perspective, like they're really naive or like kind of ignorant to their own doings, the things that they're doing to trigger, to provoke, to kind of make things difficult for you. There's that Judgment card. Interesting. Let's look at this a little bit more. Yeah, like it's just like, it looks like someone's completely ignorant to like how they're acting, how they're behaving. There's this very weird expectation, you know, coming from their energy or coming from an energy that is around you. Maybe you're feeling like a little bit bullied by this person's situation, and then they just kind of expect everything to be fine. Or I don't know, it's building up to something. That's what I will say. It's building up to something, why we're getting this waxing gibbous. I feel like you've been preparing, like we've had that theme. I think that theme popped up a lot the last 2 weeks of just like preparation, sitting there, understanding, dealing with what you have going on, figuring out those nooks and crannies, trying to understand if I do this, then this happens. Like I said, I feel like maybe you're a little bit more aware of it than whatever you're dealing with, because it doesn't really look like they're able to give you they're just not able to give you the validation that you need. And I feel like in some ways that's where it becomes really overwhelming. I also feel like Spirit is lining things up, something that you have been intuiting for a long time. Neptune is in Aries. Mercury is also positively aspected to Neptune. And that's one of the major influences within this new moon. And so it's not as much about relying on what you see on the surface. Not everything is as it seems. I think that's part of the reason why you're in this debacle, why you're dealing with someone who is a little bit difficult, because they show two different sides of themselves, right? It's almost like they don't know how to manage their emotions towards you, and so. And I feel like there are some conversations that are starting to come out around this, whether you're talking to this person on the new moon. I mean, I'm seeing this as a little bit more of a solitary energy, you focusing on yourself before this stuff comes in, keeping with that theme. But again, remember that theme of like building and growing in your power is so important over this new moon. Really thinking about how you want to situate yourself, in a way that's not constantly heaping burden, stress, overwhelm. Like, I feel like something happened where you did not expect it at all, and you're still kind of trying to like grapple with what has been going on, the cause and the effect. It looks like someone again wasn't sensitive, empathic, or empathetic, understanding to your end of things, and so you're very much in this vibe of like kind of resistant is what I'm seeing, resistant to this dynamic because of how it shook out. This is something that like could have had a happy ending, but no matter how many times things popped up, etc., it just didn't, right? It just didn't. And it looks like someone was just really immature around it. Who's this Queen of Wands? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It's fire energy. It's someone who's really... someone's feeling really stressed out about what has happened, about what has been done. I feel like this is another energy. You might have had multiple people kind of ganging up against you. Again, like yeah, I mean, it definitely, we have Queen of Wands, we have King of Pentacles coming out, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy. It definitely looks like, and here's the thing, you're putting all of that stuff on the back burner. You're putting it on the back burner because it's this value of like, well, you know, that's fine if you want to make these choices. If you want to do what you want to do, that's fine. But then I got to do what I need to do. And that really is where this empowerment is coming through. It's hard because I think right now, Saturn is tensely aspected to the vertex point, meaning we're not really ready for things to culminate. We're not really ready to see closure around certain people, certain situations. It's feeling a little bit overwhelming. It's disappointing too at that. You know, I think that's a lot of where that tension with Jupiter is playing out. We're so expecting it to look a certain way and it just doesn't. And I feel like once this situation, people approach you, connect with you, address you, like in ways that they haven't given you that respect before, the effect, it's, you know, people are not really understanding. They're not understanding how bad it was, is what I'm hearing, right? Yeah, I mean, I think that I like this. It's talking about be diplomatic with your approach, especially to relationships, Libra rules, partnership. What's in Libra right now? Well, the vertex point, So things essentially coming to head, right? Like this is stuff that we have to face with relationships, with the dynamics that we're currently involved in. Yeah, it doesn't all feel great, but we can't avoid it essentially. And this is a lot about how we're healing, how we're growing, how we're evolving, how we're empowering ourselves, leveling up, overcoming some of the stuff that we wish just like wouldn't have happened that way, or we didn't want to see that side to a person, or they didn't even really understand like how difficult they were being, right? Or the burden, the stress, the pain, the sadness that they put on you. And, you know, it's not easy because we want to retaliate, we want to lash back, etc., lash out, sorry. But Spirit's really talking about to be gentle. Like it's only fueling energy into things that are not what you want to be fueling energy into now. Like I said in the very beginning, stand up for yourself. Don't back down if it's not appropriate to do so. But this is also something that it's falling on deaf ears. And I'm seeing this specifically with one person's situation, but it also looks like there's other people involved. People who have not listened, people who did not take you seriously. And you're in this space where so much has happened, so much water under the bridge that it's like, okay, that's fine. You do you, I'm gonna do me. So it's an empowering energy. It's a little tricky because we do have some stuff that we're still cleaning up, but I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, a little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support that you bring to the channel. No, I'm sending it back your way.